Hi, and welcome to 108 Healing Senses podcast. My name is Jennifer Taylor, and today I have my wonderful friend on again called Calnan from Radiant Angel Energy. And she's fabulous, as always, and always a ray of light and shining love. I always find speaking with you. So thank you and welcome back.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for having me back. And yes, the sun has now decided to come out.
Yes, after it has been much rain this morning, after a
Tell
very
me about
dry
it.
summer. Oh,
Yeah.
so today I asked in advance kind of what was the thread that you'd like to speak about with the audience today, and like especially we've got like the full moon coming up in Pisces, we've got lunar, like we've got eclipse seasons upon us as well, and there are a lot of inner reflections being called out by the different astrological and constellational changes in the sky, which does affect us. So I suppose whatever we speak about will also speak to that as well. So yeah, I'll hand over to you, Ray, to kind of lead the way.
Okay. Well, I won't do a lot of introducing myself because obviously I've been on the show before, so I have introduced myself. A very brief background is I come from a spiritual background, and through coincidences, synchronicities, connecting to my angels, to my guides, to my past self, to my future self, to my higher self, I've actually gained a lot of information that's helped me move forward in my life and created the changes that I need to actually work and help and be of service to other people. And that's really kind of like what I'm trying to say to people, is to remember that they're not alone. It's not just through my guides, angels, past, future, higher self, but also through the people I've connected with around me, who, bring their energy, their wisdom to me, like Jen, so that we can collaborate and we come up with these ideas and these ways of working that really don't just benefit us, but benefit the whole collective as well.
Yeah, yeah, well said. I feel like, especially because it's quite chaotic out there, and I hadn't really been feeling it much until today. Today was the day where I started to feel things more. I kind of see like myself and others around me. It's almost like rain droplets that take the turn. So one water droplet falls first, and then the others kind of cascade after that. So everyone has their chance and their moment. It's like, if someone gets ill, and then there's kind of like a staggered effect. And everyone has a detox in their house. But yeah, it's quite chaotic right now, and these are the kinds of spaces where you meet kindred spirits, you meet friends that can say it's okay, you'll get through it. It's here are some guidance to connect to your inner guidance as well. So no one should ever feel lost, but it's easy to feel like that if you haven't found your path back to just feeling complete and being able to connect in. So yeah,
Yeah.
so you've how long has your career been in your
Oh gosh, well, I started doing angelic Reiki back in 2008,
mm,
and I started the business about 2013. So it's been a quite a while that I've been doing this work, and obviously, when we step back to my childhood, and it was always around me, and all these spiritual things that happened
mm,
for me, but it's been an interesting journey. As I said, there's been so many synchronicities, coincidences, one thing leading to another, like these little breadcrumbs that have come out. And most of my path has been smooth sailing with the people around me. But in 2022, I did have the rug pulled out from under my feet. And that was when I realized just how many people around me, how much guidance and support I had. Because obviously, the rug gets pulled out from under your feet, and you are at that oh my God, why has this happened? And you go through the, all the emotions, the crying, the anger, the
Mm,
fear, the just complete helplessness. But through it all, I had my angels talking to me, guiding me. I was connecting to my higher self. I was able to see the bigger picture of what was going on, why it happened. But I also had the support of people around me where I have worked for a while. I had my peers and my friends who are there supporting me, helping take me into the past to see where this has come from, helping me, taking me into the future to see where, I can move next to,
mm,
looking at the whole energy thing and just being there supporting me. And that's how you realize that you are never alone, even in the darkest moments. Even if I didn't have all those people around me, I had the angels, I had my higher self, my inner guidance to actually help me navigate that situation. So I didn't stay down. I started to make my way up to actually bring myself back into full alignment with myself, which I think is so important,
mm,
because you do, when those things happen, you feel so alone, so lost, but you're
yeah.
not really.
Mm. What were some of the ways, I suppose, if people are completely fresh to being able to connect to their higher selves, being able to connect to their angels, do you have any guidance for people to do it like simply and easily and safely?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the most easiest way of connecting with your guardian angel, okay, and you don't need to actually, be able to hear them, in words. I mean, I don't really hear in words. I just get a knowing. I'm one of those people that knows things and I feel the energy coming in. But the most simplest thing to start that connection is, before you go to bed, just ask, my guardian angel, please can you communicate with me and tell me your name? And then the first name that comes into your head, or a name that you dream of, or the first name that comes to you when you wake up, is the name of your guardian angel. And all you do is just start every day saying, good morning, guardian angel, whatever the name may be. Or maybe if you don't get a name, good morning, my guardian angel. Oh, my guardian angel, thank you so much for being with me today. Oh, good night, my guardian angel. Oh, angels, thank you so much for that perfect parking spot you found me. And that starts that conversation, connection with the angels. And again, with guides as well, you can do exactly that. You can do exactly the same thing, and maybe before you go to sleep, angels and guides, please can you give me the information that I need whilst I sleep? And then when you wake up, write down, the first things you remember. And that
Mm,
really starts the connection to your angels and guides. Meditation, it's really good for helping you connect as well. And it doesn't need for you to be sitting there in silence trying to clear your mind. I mean, sometimes just sitting there trying to clear your mind doesn't actually work. You let those thoughts come in and drift out, or you do a guided meditation that gets you into that space where you can connect with angels, where you can connect with your guides, with your higher self. So there's sort of like things you can do yourself, and there are so many guided meditations online, YouTube, podcasts, etc. I've got some, other people have got some out there, and they will help you with that connection. And as you start doing that more on a daily basis, that really heightens and gives you the chance to work out how you connect, and you can hear those thoughts, that guidance from you. And the
mm,
beauty as well is, and I love this with angels, is if you're feeling lost, it just says, angels, please can you come and wrap your arms around me? And as you're sitting in that space, you do actually feel this, like this warm hug come around you. It's
mm,
just so amazing. I can't really explain it, but anyone can experience it. It's not certain people, because we all have a guardian angel around us. So that's kind of like the simple things you can do by yourself. And again, you can do past life regression or future life progression. Again, there are sort of like those meditations online, or you can come and see people like me, Jen, or somebody else, and we actually guide you through that. And I think some people think with past life, it's just clearing and healing from the past life. But you can actually connect with yourself in a past life and get the guidance and inspiration from them. I've taken people back to their first ever incarnation on Earth, back to before they came to Earth, on another planet. And it's amazing the advanced knowledge and information that your past self can give to you. And that's another part of you, which shows you're not alone, because you've got that part of you. And again, when you go into the future and you speak to your future self, you're not alone, because you've got that future self who can give you the guidance. So they're kind of like the most simplest, basic ways. You can start going into more deeper stuff, but they really are the most basic ways for people.
Yeah, love that. Thank you. And you're right. And I realized through the work we've been doing as well, is my future self is one of my guides. So she's one of my guides. And so it's been beautiful developing the relationship with myself, but my true, pure, source essence, the multidimensional version of me that's done past, present, future. And she's incredibly wise and very advanced and so loving and just compassionate and healing at such a soul level. It's kind of undescribable. So this work is very special, especially if you're kind of ready to go to the next level, if you're open to the idea that there's more than meets the eye, and especially those if they're sensitive to energies, to other people's emotions. You can read a room, your body tells you about it. These are all the signs of being more sensitive, more energetically sensitive to external factors, other people, spaces. If being empathic, that phrase gets bandied around a lot, but that's also part of being that sensitive in intuition, which is a really great, if you have intuition and you feel it and you trust it when it says do this, don't do that, but it's quiet, and it's similar to when you're speaking to your guides. It's not forceful, there's no ego, it's very loving, it's very soft. You might have stern messages from yourself. One for me is don't waste time, even though it was about a certain thing. But you can, that loving, strong strength, which you also need.
Oh, absolutely. And guides and angels, and your higher self, that you've connected to the right energy, because even if they're telling you off, they're not telling you off, and they're doing it in such a loving way, a way that really uplifts you and gives you strength and confidence, not belittles you or brings you down. Any guidance you will get from your higher self, angels, guides, that's for your highest good, will always have a positive spin on it, no matter what it is.
Yeah. There's no nastiness, there's no guilt, blame, or shame. And actually, that's it's a bit, I suppose it's a bit like, it's the same frequency, whether it's in physical form or more light body or energetic form. The same goes with people. The people that lift you up, and they're like they radiate light and love, and they might be strong to say, you can do better. Just, keep going. Don't give up. Try, just keep going. A little bit every day goes a really long way. Versus someone who is abusive and toxic, and they would then have that, that belittling, that pointiness to try and destroy your self-worth, your self-confidence, and make you feel bad. And that's the same whether guidance or in people. So if, again, it's your discernment of what you're recognizing as recognizing as what's true from the highest information versus what is not.
Yeah, exactly. And people are so important,
Yeah.
and it is a case of if you find yourself in an environment where people are dragging you down, you're not feeling your greatest, they're not giving you advice that is positive and uplifting you, even if they're telling you off, then it's time to start looking for new people around you. And that is such an important thing, is the people we have around us. Sometimes we feel that, okay, I need to be alone because I'm surrounded by all these people that are not doing my health any good, which is great, but you shouldn't be alone. You should start looking for other people that are there ready to lift you. It only needs one person,
Yeah.
and again, when I had that rug pulled out from under my feet, I had people around me who were supporting me, who were there holding my hand. And you can find that yourself. You don't have to wait for people to find you. You can go and find people. Even if you're the most shyest person out there, you can find people online now. But
Mm.
obviously, again, use your discernment. If you go into a Facebook group, are, before you actually start joining the conversation, read the posts. Are people supportive of each other? Are they lifting people up? If they are, then that's a group you want to be in. But if they don't, then maybe that's not quite the group you want to be in.
Yeah.
And communities, memberships, they are also good places to find people that you connect with. I mean, I've got a membership called Angel Wings, and my God, the members are so amazing. And even if I'm not active in the WhatsApp group, somebody the other day was feeling down and they posted about it. Other members came in and went, I'll do your card reading. Oh, you've got this, you've got that. And that is how, that is when you create a community and you bring people around you. And if you're finding that you can't find people to connect with, then start something yourself. I mean, years ago, and I was actually talking, I had a Q&A with my members yesterday, live Q&A, and one of them has been with me since I started my afternoon with the angels, which was back in 2016. We realized that's when I started, and I started that was with a meetup, when Meetup started.
Mm.
And it was like, where I was living here in Dartford, there wasn't really anyone who was talking about angels or doing anything like that. And a friend said to me, why don't you start your own group? So I did, it was afternoon tea with the angels. I started, put that on Meetup, and all these people that were interested in angels and spiritual stuff, came along, because there wasn't anything local, but I had started it. So again, if you're not finding the right people, start something yourself, but do it with the mindset of that it's a community that you're creating, so that nobody is alone and that everyone supports each other.
Love that. Thank you. And also thank you for creating that space for others to find their tribe, because that's, and it's, how it's interesting how life sort of just keeps revealing itself. The more layers get peeled off, and what's left really is that kind of primal instinct to find those that will accept you and create with you, collaborate with you, learn from each other, grow with each other, and everyone become better souls along the way. I think it's such an important aspect for growing communities, and it will only get more powerful as the time goes on as well, is that people will need and want, there will be an inner need to find others that resonate with them, because we are all choosing different timelines, different ones that we want to align to. I'm very much on the organic paradise earth timeline, and those that resonate with me, they'll be able to find me, and I'll be able to share my wisdom with them, as the same with you as well, Ray. Like, whatever our passions and experiences, not only this lifetime but other lifetimes, and the gifts that we have accrued over time, is what this lifetime is all about. This is like the big one. So everything that we've learned to this date is being put in action, and that will be from our natural talents and skills as well, that we'll be able to share with others, so they get to have that experience for themselves as well, and remember more of who they already are. And it's just that process of remembering who they are, and it's beautiful, and it takes as long as it wants and needs to take. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
beautiful. Yeah.
And of course, there is no fear that we need to have. I mean, both you and I and other people, that work with the future life progression, we've been into the future, we've seen it. There is no fear or anything about what's going on, because it is chaotic at this moment in time. 2025 is a chaotic time with everything going on, with Gaia, with people. But we wouldn't have signed up for this if we weren't meant to do this, and that we wouldn't find the right people to be with whilst this is going on, the right people to support us.
Yeah.
And they are there for us. We just have to be open to them coming into our lives. And again, as you said, following whichever timeline is going to be right for you. You chose what timeline you're going to find, that you were going to step onto. But you can change if you so want to. And that is the beauty of the future. Yes, it might be you could say predestined, but you have the option of taking a step off if you so choose, and
Yeah.
going in a completely different direction. So if you're on that timeline, or with those people that are sort of like going towards the chaos, the madness, you don't have to follow them. You can go, actually, I'm going to change my timeline now. Let's go and see who I can find around me who is actually on this other timeline, and start going and looking at what they're doing, the people they've got around them. And I'm going to go down this route now. So
Yeah.
you can change, whatever timeline you're on, because the future is not set in stone.
Yeah. I feel like there's a bit of a barrier. I was kind of remembering or reflecting upon who I was before I really started to have a spiritual awakening. And well, even my journey, just getting to the point of just being really comfortable with myself, and if I wanted to, investigate more things like energy and healing and frequencies and things, not let the worry and fear of external judgment stop me from wanting to pursue looking into different things, and learning and remembering more of what I've already done, had experienced in the past, and bring the best into the now. So I feel like there's a veil where I feel like more people are starting to break through that, whether they're starting to really be more discerning about what's happening on the earth right now, what's happening with people, what's happening with different groups of people, and all of those kinds of things. But then it's, if you're constantly trapped in they're right, they're wrong. Oh, that's interesting. A bag just fell out. You know, this is the direction, this is the only direction that is right, and anyone that does anything else is, crazy, weird, whatever judgmental, derogatory terms that people want to throw out. But ultimately, those are the people that are fearful. They're fearful of change, they're fearful of something new. But if they were to just take a pause and reflect on the situation and come above it, and then have a look and see, just like you were saying earlier, what's the higher perspective of what's happening right now? Okay, stuff's going on over here and here and here, but what's the overarching theme of all of this? Who benefits the most from this situation, and who is not benefiting the most from the situation? And where the discernment of who is telling the truth, who is taking has integrity, where their words and their actions align, versus they speak a good talk, they talk a good talk, but they don't deliver on any promises that they say they're going to. They don't go all the way through. And this is where that point of integrity is like, if you're showing up and promising one thing but you're doing something else, and that's for anyone and for anything, you really have to check in with yourself, is like, well, where does my integrity lie? Because you're only lying to yourself deeply. That's the first point of the wound. It's not just everyone else, it's themselves. That's where the soul, it gets crushed to a degree, because you're not being honest about who you are. You're not being honest about the situation, and you're not being honest about, actually, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be this anymore. I'm going to take a leap of faith and put myself in a new direction that is aligned in love, is aligned in truth and honesty and compassion, care, consideration, and patience. And I feel like, I suppose that's just the kind of, the stepping stones of you kind of coming out of because stepping through the different realities just to see what's going on around. And then you get to the point of recognizing that it's kind of a play, really, what's happening in the world right now. It's nothing new. It's just different faces with different names, just repeating the same old trauma loops. And until you recognize that it is just a trauma loop going round and round, it's the opportunity to step out of it. That's the making the different choice. I'm not going to be in drama. I'm not going to be destructive. I'm not going to be hanging around with these kinds of people, because they don't lift me up. They pull me down. They're trying to destroy me. And that, change the perspective on creation or destruction. Like, what are you doing? Even if you're slamming someone else and being super judgmental on others, well, it does say a lot more about you than it does them. And I don't know about you, Ray, but I've definitely got more to the point of being observational and witnessing things. But I also don't care to a degree, because that's their life, that's their experiences. It's nothing to do with me. I'm not going to change them directly, but I can certainly change my reality by the way I show up, by the way I act in love, in care, in compassion and consideration for those around me. And like, number one is me. I have to ensure that my cup's full, otherwise others suffer as well. That's kind of the thing of it.
Yeah, exactly. And you have to remember, your truth is your truth, my truth is my truth. Your truth will never be my truth, because we are completely different people. We might have similar ideas, similar thoughts, may move in the same direction, but we will never be exactly the same, because that is where the uniqueness comes from. And again, that's when you get groups of people, everyone brings their own unique perspective to it. You all have the same same ideas, where the same way you want to go, but you all bring your own complete uniqueness to it. And if you're not happy with the truth of someone else, then that doesn't matter, so long as your truth is how you feel, how you experience it, then that is the most important thing, as long as you're doing it in light and love.
Yeah. And sometimes I feel like along the way I've realized that words have layers of meaning. Even things like, if you were to say love, that is layered into things like healthy boundaries, compassion, consideration, absolutely. And taking action or inactions that are not out to destroy anyone or anything, or try to sway them to align with your will, your perception of how reality should be. It's like, when if everyone were to just start pulling their energy back into themselves and take that external look at the world and just turn it around as the mirror and just be like, if I'm getting triggered and irate about certain things in the world right now, where is it within myself that I haven't resolved this trauma or this wound? When you start having those conversations with yourself, then the trauma loops stop. Then you stop externalizing all of your pain onto the world by adding fuel to other people's fires. And yeah, I suppose that is the way of just, you start to balance yourself from the inside out. Your world will reflect, your external world will reflect your internal world.
Yeah, absolutely. And you see it being played out on the news where people are trying to force their opinions on
Mm,
other people, and it's like the people then butt up against it. Whereas if you just go, look, this is my truth, this is what I think, what I know, what I understand,
mm,
you're entitled to what you think, know, and understand. If they work together, they work together. If they don't, then we agree that they don't work together, but we don't force it on each other, and we just see if we can find a common theme, a common path that unites us, because we are meant to be united. And there's a lot of things that do go on in the world that try and divide us. You only have to look at what's going on. But rather than looking at the divide between all these different things that are going on, look at what the commonality is. There is always a common thread, something that actually unites both perspectives of something. And when you take that higher view, you actually get to see what that common ground is. And then you can come together. You still have your own opinions, but you come together and you don't separate, which makes both opinions stronger and more true.
mm. Yeah, yeah. I love that. I love that. Well said.
Yeah, I have no idea where that came from. That just came channeling in as we spoke.
Yeah, you can feel it. I think it's like it's important to bring in calm and balance into everything that you do. That's what I've really noticed about myself. So I don't I don't really engage with news or um other world event kind of stuff. I don't actively go seeking for the information on it. It kind of just filters in anyhow. But I realized that even in my day to day, like technically, so I do a lot of design work and production and all those techie things and website stuff and marketing and things. That it's really important for me to regulate myself in the small moments. So, say for instance, years ago when my nervous system was less regulated and less healed, I suppose that's really what you mean when you're kind of healing yourself as you're regulating all aspects of you and you're bringing things back into balance and harmony. Is it would have been easier for me to like really lose my shit a few years ago, but now I'd see it as the opportunity to find peace, even if things are going wrong or like a challenge is coming up. I've had that a few times lately. I'm sure things have been in retrograde as well. Um,
Oh, yeah, that's a whole different story and
yeah.
conversation.
um, and yeah, and it's just that okay, all right, just take it as like one step at a time. Things might break, things might not be perfect, but how can you just show up in the moment, not lose your rag, and just get on or go and have a break. But I find with it consistent potential stresses coming up and me consistently doing my best to measure and balance my nervous system as stress does come up, I feel less stressed in stressful situations, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that makes absolute sense. And remembering to breathe, it's so important, because when we stress, we do stop breathing, and it is, as soon as you notice you're getting into that stress mode, whether that's through something you've done or someone's done, or if you have caught the news or something like that, you should just take a step back, close your eyes, and just breathe. Just breathe in and out, maybe to a count of 4. Out for a count of 4. And as you're doing that, that just brings you back, that centers you, brings you back into the present and allows that stress to maybe still be there, but not affect you as much because you're breathing through it. When people have panic attacks, they're given a bag to breathe into because it is breathing. It's so important to regulate
Mm.
our thoughts, our feelings. If we weren't supposed to breathe to help us through, then we wouldn't be breathing.
It's true. It's true. And I've found myself like, oh, I'm becoming very consciously aware that I'm taking very shallow breaths. So I've definitely been doing that the last few days when I noticed myself like super hyper concentration, and then I recognize I'm not breathing much at all. So I have to really, change my posture and do deep Buddha belly, deep belly breaths. And it does help. The simplest things in life, they always help. We don't need to overcomplicate.
No, that's one of the things we do as humans. We try to overcomplicate things.
Mm.
Which is why I said at the beginning, you just need to ask your angels, your guides to come in. You don't need to do a complicated ritual or sit there for hours in a meditative state. You can
Mm.
get a guided meditation. There are so many simple things that we can do. And again, it's recognizing when you're getting into those situations. So being aware of yourself as well is so important. Now, what you're thinking, what you're experiencing, and you can change that. You have the power yourself to do this. You don't need to rely on others to do it for you. When you start changing it yourself, then that changes the energy around you as well. So if you find that you're attracting those people that aren't good for you, as soon as you start doing that work on yourself, that breathing, that inner knowing, catching your thoughts, trying to create that more peaceful life around you, then you start noticing those people drifting away and new people coming in. So you get that new community of people that are there supporting you, helping you, because you started making the changes yourself.
Mm. Yeah, absolutely. And not to be so this is again, this is another part of the journey where people get fearful of about losing friends, about losing a partner, because they think, oh, this is basically as good as it's going to get. So they're settling, even though they're not happy, and that's very stressful for people. They might not be consciously aware of it, or they might be pretty aware of it. But I'd say by that point, when they're really starting to recognize, like, oh, this situation is really quite stressful, that they're already kind of processing and moving through it, and it just depends if they will put up with it for long enough, or if something will happen and their soul plan or their guides start to nudge them, and themselves start to nudge them to remember, we need to go this way. This is what we're here to do. We've had this experience. We've got everything that we needed, and now you're becoming aware that life can be sweeter. Life can be filled with joy and love and creativity, opportunity and success. And I don't need to stay where I am because someone said something, or they have created an environment that makes me feel fearful or stressed to leave. And it is that deep, honest self reflection about what's happening in the internal world and the external world. And that's where you can really start to shift your timeline. Go to, you step into your higher timeline when you choose love. You choose the path that is in your highest, not just what you're putting up with. No one needs to put up with anything
No,
unless
they,
it's love. And
yeah,
it's not
they,
put up.
yeah, exactly. Love, compassion, joy, happiness, the most highest possible energies that you can possibly imagine. And it is being aware, being aware of the words you use, being aware of the situations you create
Mm.
around you. And again, start looking for those synchronicities, those coincidences, those little breadcrumbs. You know, when you wake up in the morning, ask your angels, your guides, hey, guides, angels, thank you so much for showing me the synchronicities, the breadcrumbs, allowing me to be open, nudging me when you think there's something you want me to take notice of. And then when you do take notice of it, take action on it, because, you know, it's great them showing us, you know, these steps, these directions to go. But if we don't take the action, then what's the point?
Yeah. And the suffering will continue until you take the action. That's the funny, that's the paradoxical
Yeah, I think
um
that's the word.
about fear. And it puts you in this state of limbo. It puts you in this kind of stagnancy where you've not chosen, you're not fully committed to anything, and you're kind of in this in-between stage, and you know that you need to let go of the past in order to really truly welcome your best possible future, and having faith and trusting that that will happen however it will, in whatever time frame it needs to happen, but just continuing to trust. Yeah.
Yeah, trust is so important, and you will always be given signs about where you're going. And if you're not listening, then again, the angels, the universe, the guides will give you those nudges. I mean, they were giving me lots of nudges, and I didn't take any notice. And they said, "Okay, you're not take notice," and they pulled the rug out from under my feet. You know, when I look back at the high perspective, I've been given all these little breadcrumbs, but I was ignoring it, and they went, okay, we're going to make it major for you.
Mm.
So, you know, you do have to listen out. I mean, they're not going to do something major unless they feel you can help, you know, that you're going to be able to survive it, that
Yeah.
you're going to be able to work through it. You know, but it's like, you know, when you pull oracle cards or anything like that, you get the same card keep coming out or a similar card keep coming out. And it's the angels and the guides going, but you're not listening. We're trying to tell you. So if you want to change the card, listen and take action.
Mm. Yeah. Would you like to do any cards today? Like a little message from the
Yeah, I
guide?
can do.
Yeah, is that all right? That would be
Yeah,
lovely.
that's fine. As everyone knows, I always have cards by the side of me. Um,
Excellent.
and I've actually got the Archangel Oracle cards by the side of me, rather than my normal Sacred Traveller ones that I use on my podcast.
Nice.
These just happen to be here. So let's just see what card wants to come out for everyone who's watching this. And it doesn't matter whether you're watching this live or you're watching the replay, the message will still be the same. And it will be what you need for your highest good at this moment in time. So okay, we'll go with that one then. This is absolutely perfect. We're talking about connections and connecting with angels, guides. Angel therapy, Archangel Raphael, give your cares and worries to us angels and allow us to take your burdens.
Oh,
I mean,
perfect.
how perfect is that? You know, so again, it's speaking to your angels, to your guides, even if you're not aware of them, you know, they are there for you.
Mm,
You just haven't got to that vibration yet when you notice them coming in. But the more you speak to them, the more you connect with them, the more you start experiencing them, whether it's through feelings, through thoughts, through colors, through smells, through books you're reading, through people you meet, through words. And they're
mm,
always there. They always, you know, are ready to help you, but you have to connect with them first, you know, and you know, give your cares and worries. You don't have to, you know, this takes us back to the community, to having that connection. You don't need to carry all the burdens of the world, all the fears, all the worries with you.
mm,
You know, if there aren't people around you that you can give them to the angels, to the guides, and they will support you. And when you do, you feel so much better, and you feel that unconditional love that comes through for them. And it'll be interesting, you know, when I do my card reading I might actually use these cards when I do my weekly card reading for next week, just to see whether that card or something similar comes out, to see if people have actually taken notice.
Nice. Love it. Oh, that was really perfect, and I do feel them close. And actually, what did come up for me when you were speaking, and I wondered if you could share, what are some of the signs that you notice when your guides and your angels are close?
Yeah, I mean, it is very specific. It's very specific to individuals.
Mm,
Um, you know, you have the general ones, which if you're not 100% sure, look out for. You know, you ask a question to the angels, look for a feather that appears from absolutely nowhere, or maybe a penny that appears from nowhere, or you're
yeah.
thinking about a loved one and suddenly a butterfly comes in, or you see a robin. You know, they are signs that people are around you. You know, I went to, unfortunately, I lost a second cousin, and she was only, I think she's about 10 years old. So you can imagine what the funeral was like.
Mm,
But what was interesting, and it was like, oh, you know, I wonder if she's around us. And when we were at the graveside, there was a butterfly
oh,
just flitting about. Then when we got to the wake afterwards, inside this building, looked exactly the same butterfly inside the building floating about, and it's like, she's, you know, that was her. She's come
oh,
to see, you know, to enjoy the celebration of her life. So it's always looking out for those signs, and they will show them to you. For me, it is often feathers, or it is that I will switch on the computer and there'll be something that will pop up, and it's like, oh, okay, that's the answer to that question. You know, I've had it before where I've actually years ago I went for a job interview, and it's like, can you tell me if I'm going to get this job interview? And then in the clouds there was a cloud that looked like a thumbs up.
I love it.
You know, so there are so many different signs that come through. As I said, for me it's more feathers. And I'll know that what I'm asking for, you know, is a positive step. But sometimes, you know, it's just a knowing. It's like my heart beats faster. Oh my God, that's right. Or it could be that I get stomach cramps, and it's like, oh, maybe that's not the right thing for me. But start writing down the thing when you start asking questions and being curious about where you're going. When you think or you feel that you've got the answer, write it down. And each time you write that down, you start to see a pattern, and then you'll notice when you've getting the answers that you're going in the right direction, or the answers that you're going in the wrong direction.
Mm,
So write it down, whether it's a feeling, whether it's something that comes up, and start noticing that pattern, and that will give you your particular way of knowing when you're getting the guidance from the angels, from the spirits.
love that. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. And I know
Oh,
it can
you're
be,
welcome.
yeah, it's a personal experience. And yeah, it is rather beautiful when you start to connect and you have the signs, or you have that feeling that, you know, when you said about when you ask if you're going through a tough time, and just when you ask your guides, your guardian angel, to wrap their arms around you. I've had that in the past, and it just felt their wings just completely surround me. And there's this wave, like a deep kind of wave of peace that flows through me, that feels impenetrable. And I suppose it's like, you know, you relax, you shut your eyes and just breathe, and just, you know, hold your heart, and just, you know, call upon your guides to come and wrap their arms around you in times of great need. And it really does help. It really, really helps, and get the signs when you need. when you need it. And you can also ask for more signs to confirm as well. It doesn't stop.
Yeah.
You can, they're very loving and considerate and patient. Very patient.
Exactly. And lots of people, are coming to me now, because they keep seeing numbers. Numbers are, it's because we've been ignoring for so long, we've been ignoring the signs that they're making it obvious now with numbers. Hence why
Mm,
people keep saying, I keep seeing these repeating numbers. It's because the angels, the guides are trying to come through and say, hey, there's much more going on. You have the power. Start remembering this. Start taking notice. And when you notice those numbers, what were you thinking of just before you noticed those numbers, or when you noticed those numbers? Because those thoughts that you were having when you noticed those numbers, or what was going on around you,
mm,
there's a reason why you noticed those numbers, because there's something that you were doing, thinking, saying that was important that you need to take notice of.
mm. Love that. I, I had a recent one with that on the it's not the speedometer. When it says how many miles the car has done.
Yeah.
So I had like 3 triple digits and another 3 triple digits, all the same. I was like, whoa.
Exactly.
um,
What was I thinking of just before I noticed that? What
yeah.
was going on around me at that particular moment in time?
It was a positive move forward on a new project. So I very much got that. No, it's like that confirmation you're going in the right direction. Things are in alignment. Uh, quite literally. Yeah. It's quite fun actually. I suppose it's like reconnecting to your childhood playfulness is a really great start where you start looking beyond just your phone, and look further beyond. Although saying that, I've had the same thing when I've I've been thinking about a subject, and then I go onto social media and someone's already written something. I'm like, they put it into words. That was basically what I've been feeling and thinking lately. But they summarize. I'm like, thank you. So that's really wonderful, and I do always appreciate those that are in alignment when they give guidance and clarity, and I feel it in my heart. That's the discerning part, is I listen with my heart whether it is resonant, if it brings resonance to me, and also if it rings true as well, with integrity. So yeah, those are the other signs.
Yeah.
Signs and discernment, they do go hand in hand. Don't just blindly follow everything, but but have an open heart. And yeah,
Yeah.
you'll
And
always
be
be.
curious.
Yeah, yeah, be curious. It's a good place to be.
Exactly. And
Yeah,
know that magic is always happening for you, with you, around you.
yeah. And the universe has got your back, your front, your sides, and all the sides. So you just,
Exactly. Just
yeah,
remember, just trust,
yeah.
and just create that, bring that community around you.
Mm. So tell us more about your community space. What
Oh, okay, yeah. So it's Angel Wings membership,
mm,
and it's a membership that's been going for a few years now. And basically, it is like-minded people who are on their spiritual journey or interested in their spiritual journey, that want the support of people around them, to know that they're not alone. There are other people as well, but also to get guidance and help on that path, so that they can start doing more things, so they can spread their wings and
mm,
actually learn more about it. So we have a monthly live Q&A. I have guests come in. There's a library of information about various things on your spiritual journey. And we have the WhatsApp group, and we don't just talk on WhatsApp. We arrange to meet up occasionally as
nice.
well. So we're actually meeting in person. So we're just really creating that space. And I'm really privileged and proud that, I've had members in there since I started it. They've stayed there, which, you know, really means a lot. And when I've actually seen them go on and do more things, and the skills and the talents they've got as they move
Mm,
on, I'm like, oh my God, this is just so amazing. And again, I created that membership because it was to bring people together in a container of support for each other so that everyone can be their own individual, their own energy, but know that they've got the support around them. So yeah, that's my membership.
Lovely. And how can they find I suppose this is probably quite a good time. What's the best social medias to find you, and your website and all of that good stuff, so to
Okay, well,
contact?
my website is Radiant Angel Energy. In fact, you can find me on most social media under Radiant Angel Energy, and on there is as you look down the menu, you can go and see what the membership is about. And I also have a free gift where you can actually, over 5 days, different tips and tools and a couple of guided meditations so that it makes it easier for you to connect with your angels, with your guides. So that's on there as well. And I'm always willing to, help and guide people if they need it. Email me, radiantangelindia@gmail.com. And when I can, I will get back to you. So I'm always accessible within reason, not sort of like the middle of the night or anything like that. And, again, with the membership, because there's different people on there, it's not just me that can give advice and guidance and support, but it's other people as well. But if you're looking at social media, then my YouTube channel is probably the best one to actually follow me on, because I have all my shows on there, which is Angels and Destiny, of which Jen has been a guest a couple of times
Yeah.
as well. So go and check that out, and check out Jen's conversations with me on there, and that's where I post my guided meditation and any other information around. And just watch the videos, have them on in the background if you need to. There's so much wisdom and information that comes through from my guests, that's probably the best place to get to know me.
Wonderful. And yeah, your podcast is fabulous, and a lot of wisdom gets channeled through our platforms. There's no doubt about it. You get into a safe space loving, accepting space, and you share your wisdom. So thank you. It really is a pleasure speaking with you and bringing more solutions to the world than problems. That is massively what 108 Healing Senses podcast and platform is all about, bringing more solutions and problems to the world. So yeah. And actually, like, for the kind of, do you have any last words of nuggets and wisdom that you would like to share with your audience before we leave?
Yeah, just a very, very simple one. Remember, you're not alone. That there are guides, there are angels around you, there are people around you. You just have to be open and know that they are there, and be willing to accept their help, their guidance when they come to you, when you ask.
Beautiful and true. Thank you so much, Ray. Really been a pleasure speaking with you today. And yes, be sure to go like, share, subscribe with Ray and myself, and really anyone else you resonate with. Help build the platforms so it can reach, the information and wisdom can reach more souls, so they can have better, more peaceful, more loving, more compassionate lives, and be able to step into their best possible timeline. That's truly what we want for everyone, to be able to experience peace on earth, not conflict on earth, however that looks or is expressed. So thank you so much, Ray. And from me, you can work with me one-to-one. I'm going to be starting my group up again, and I will be bridging business and inner healing. So that's the new phase, not just business. I'm going to be doing both, because actually that's been the one thing that's been really powerful on my journey, is both. It's not just one or the other. So I'm going to be bridging the two. So watch this space. I do have a school community set up. I have already uploaded some videos from my Lionsgate Future Vision Activation Workshop. So there are already 3 modules in there, which are great, which are, this whatever the thing that you need to do in that moment to help you move things along, go for it. Invest in yourself, whether it is one-to-one with Ray, myself, or anyone else, other facilitator that you resonate with in those moments that you need on your journey. So have discernment, trust, and go for it, because you can't take it with you. And what if this is your last life? Why don't you make the most of it in every possible way? So that is all from me for now. Thank you so much, Ray. It's been a pleasure speaking with you.
Pleasure speaking
Um,
to you as well. Thank you for inviting me.
yeah, and I look forward to speaking with you again soon. And for everyone else, I will see you online live next week with the wonderful Anne Jersh, I believe, if it's the
Oh,
10th.
wonderful.
Yeah, so Anne's next. So we'll see you in the mix. And if you've got any questions or comments or even topics that you'd like for us to discuss, please type it below. I really want to hear from you all. How are these podcasts helping you? Is there any other directions that you feel that you need help with? Like, let's bridge together. Let's get the information to those that need it. So yeah, just put that out there. All right. Lots of love for now and always, and hang in there. Ride those waves.